morning, everyone. Follow me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God in heaven, I thank you for people willing to set aside the arena, subject themselves to scrutiny, themselves to criticism. So we're grateful for these folks that are in these positions. Pray that they lead today with wisdom, pray that they lead with humility, recognition of all authority that is you, that reigns supreme in this community, this nation. In Jesus' name. Amen.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from last week's meeting. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Want to do the claims?
Make a motion, we approve the claims in the amount of $775,686.89.
I'll second that motion. It's been moved and seconded to approve the claims in the amount of $775,686.89. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. I'll make a motion that we approve adds and abates 2025-256, 279 through 280, 278 through 280 in the amount of a negative $54.26.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the claims in the amount of negative $54.26. Is there any discussion? Sorry, adds and abates, not claims. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Okay, approval of the agenda. Under department heads, we need to add IT. And then we need to change the last executive session to 20 minutes instead of 10 minutes, and it needs to be at 10:30.
I can message him to see if he's ready early, if you guys are ready early.
Okay. Are there any other changes?
Don't have any.
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as corrected.
Second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as corrected. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. AMR?
Good morning, Don Brooks with AMR for your monthly ambulance report for March 1st through 22nd. There were 14 calls in Blue Mound, 4 transports, 4 calls in Centerville, 2 transports, 32 calls in Lacine, 13 transports, 5 calls in Fontana, 2 transports, 16 in Mound City, 10 transports, 2 in Parker, 0 transports, 28 in Pleasanton, 17 transports, 8 in Prescott, 4 transports, for a total of 109 calls and 52 transports with an average response time of 16 minutes and 5 seconds.
Okay.
Anything else for me?
No?
I don't have.
Thank you, Dawn.
Sheriff's report?
Total prisoners 58, farmed out 0, farmed in 29, 911 calls 82, jail contacts 5981, total calls for service 899, civil service papers served 15, bin inspections 21, new cases open 33, cases closed 5, vehicle crashes 8, bailiff contacts 127, livestock out 0, 0 calls for service for the SRO because of spring break.
Okay. Fire and emergency management, looks like Randy's not here. I've got his report pulled up. Looks like a busy week for the weekly call summary from 316 to 322. Wildland fires are 25. EMS calls of 2. Motor vehicle accidents at 3. Utility pole fire 2. Mutual aid 4. Public information 4. For a weekly total of 40 with a year total of 181. Okay. Public Works. Let's go IT instead.
Good morning, Chris Martin, Linn County IT Director. So, as you know, last year during budget, we budgeted $15,000 for a new server for a backup domain controller and some other virtualization on that. So my original plan was to do that in the second quarter. However, due to the chip shortage thing going on, all of our vendor sales reps have contacted and said, hey, those prices are going to go up and they're going to jump fast. And boy, are they. So to try to get in on the lower price, because most of them are saying that it's going to happen at the end of this month. But that being said, I got a couple of different vendor pricing, went with the best one here, which was the cheapest. But what I'm saying is that was priced out Friday this morning. That was already invalid. Some of the parts that were in that setup, I can't get. So redid it this morning. Right now, this machine is $13,557.43. Like I say, we did budget $15,000 for the whole thing. I don't know if they're going to have a shipping charge with that. Plus, what I guess I'm saying is I'd like to get approval to spend up to the $15,000. I want to stay under that, but I'm betting there might be still some adjustments. But I need to try to purchase that today.
Okay.
To be able to even get the hardware. At this point, the price is good for what we expected, but they're running out of memory, mainly the memory chips. They're just saying they can't get them.
Okay. I don't have an issue with purchasing the server.
I'm fine with what it was budgeted, but I'm good with that.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we allow IT to purchase a server not to exceed the 15,000 budgeted.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded to allow IT to purchase a server not to exceed the 15,000 budgeted. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Public Works, Noxious Weeds.
Good morning, Johnny Taylor, Noxious Weed Director. I'm just here for a couple of things to begin with. The cost share program, I've got the 2026 price list completed and several residents are already calling, ready to get that going. So also in conjunction to that, I have a resolution for the cap of $30,000 on the Noxious Weed cost share program for 2026. And see, I've been doing this since 2022, and that's the cap we pretty much had and budgeted for each year. One year we did have a late season where we'd gotten over it when I came in, and because we had enough left in the budget, we were able to get the commissioners to extend another 5,000. So if that were to happen, then I'd just come back to you on that. So I'll give you this resolution.
Thank you, Johnny.
Pertaining to the cost share program, for any residents that are listening or watching, I just wanted to hit a couple of main points. I know that most residents are like us. They're working and hard to meet with me in person. So I encourage them to give a call. They can find my office number and the county work cell number on the website, or they can come in and get a card from the annex. I'll leave some, and I'll leave some with the vendors also. So they can call me, and I just need their contact information. One of the big things is that it's sometimes a hurdle for some of them. I do need the land description, which is a section, range, and township. What's that needed for is if I were to be audited by the KDA on our paperwork, they would like to have that for any land that they are treating for noxious weeds with chemicals. And then the other information is the chemical they're going to be applying and the quantity. So a lot of times I encourage residents to speak to the vendors they're going to purchase from first to help out with what chemicals they want to use and the quantity before I write the voucher out, because that's all needed information. And other than that, like I said, I got people already functioning at the bit to buy chemicals, and we're ready for this cost share program. So I'll be glad to get that started today. I'll probably actually be writing some vouchers today. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the 2026 management plan. I sent that to Jesse last week so it could be sent out and reviewed by the commissioners. That way I didn't have to bore everybody by reading all through that. But there was one change I wanted to touch on. It's actually the first paragraph of the management plan under the section, specify the goals and priorities of the program for the coming year. And this is one of the changes I'd like to make. It's to institute a PGR, plant growth regulator program for maintaining roadsides. This is a strategic application of chemicals that will control broadleaf weeds while slowing the growth of cool weather grasses, resulting in saving at least one early round of mowing. The goal is to begin applying as spring begins and apply on both sides of all paved roads in the county before the end of May. And this is something, one of the things that we learned and some of the benefits of attending like our monthly noxious weed director meetings, and this was touched on that. And then also again at the conference that we just attended, the vendors there, it's not a new program, but it's new to us. Just a little history. When I started in 2022, my first spray season, when I came in, the department had been kind of defunct for a few years with no regular noxious weed director. So I was just told that budget wise, use what I had. And they actually already had some roadside formulas that they had laminated, and that's the chemicals I used. And they were very effective for controlling broadleaf weeds. And actually we added some, the program had Tordon in it that helped us with some of the saplings and buckbrush and things like that on the roadsides that we want to control also. Which was fine and it was working well. But what I liked about this program is, as you might have noticed there about the saving at least one early round of mowing, the idea of this, and I'm going to be changing chemicals from what we've been using, is that it can slow the growth of the cool weather grasses that we see that grow first early in the season. And so what they've shown is from different studies, even some of the neighboring counties, I know Miami County's been doing this for a while, but they, when you might already need a good mowing on a roadside in, say, the end of May, around Memorial Day, this may push it to the end of June, 4th of July. And if that's true, if we have that kind of success, I think that'd be really beneficial to the road shops, and I think the foremans and all those guys will enjoy it if we can and save, you know, labor and gas on mowing if we can do that. So I'm going to start that program with the main thoroughfares and paved roads and see kind of an experimental year this year, how that works. I've been told that still you're going to still have good eradication, or at least control of the musk thistle and the teasels and the things that are the broadleaf problems and the lespedezas and stuff. So that's just one of the things I did want to touch on. Other than that, I'll leave this copy for you, and I'll just pick it up from Chastity. The back page be signed by the commissioners, and I'll send it on to the state.
Okay.
And the last thing I had is I spoke to Barbara earlier from Linn County News. I will be emailing her a copy of the general notice to control weeds. This is something that the Kansas Department of Agriculture requires each county to publish in your county paper, and just basically reminds all the residents of the county that if you own property, that you have a responsibility to try to control and eradicate the noxious weeds. So I'll be sending a copy of that to her today and get that published in the paper. Other than that, that's all I've got, and we're going to get out and start issuing some vouchers and start on some bare ground spraying this week, unless you have any questions for me. Nope, I don't.
Let's make a motion for this resolution.
Yep.
2026-04 to cap of 30,000 to put on the noxious weed cost share program for the 2026 calendar year.
And I'll second that motion. It's been moved and seconded to pass resolution 2026-04, putting a cap of $30,000 on the cost share program for noxious weeds. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, sirs.
And I'll make a motion that we approve the 2026 management plan as presented by Noxious Weed Director Johnny Taylor.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the 2026 management plan for noxious weeds. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Johnny. Okay. Adam?
We're moving a little quicker than anticipated this morning, so Adam's going to be a few minutes late. So
Okay.
if you don't mind, I'll go through what I've got on a few things here. We have some bids that are in that we need to open. We have our HVAC bids and our dust control bids that we're due on Friday. If you wouldn't mind, we'll go ahead and open those. So these first ones are going to be the dust control.
First one's from Scottwood Industries LLC for a 2,500 gallon minimum with $1.83 per gallon. 4,300 gallon minimum, $1.50 per gallon.
Okay, I have one from Home City Grain out of Home, Kansas. Price per gallon of $1.35. Price per gallon with a minimum delivery of $2,000, $1.40. So a full tanker is $1.35, 2,000 gallon minimum is $1.40. Okay, and then Platte River Dust Control has a price of $1.42 a gallon. And that would be for 4,400 gallons for a full truckload.
Thank you. Next, I've got the HVAC maintenance bids.
Okay, I have one from Weber Heating and Cooling. They have a semi-annual plan at $3,900 per year, or a quarterly plan at $6,240 per year.
This is from Myrick Mechanical at Pleasanton. Price is $65,42.72 per year, with installments of $1,635.68 per quarter. That's the only one I see right there. Yes.
Thank you.
Some all stapled together. Yeah.
That'll work. That'll work. We'll go over these bids and qualify them and bring those back in. I'd like to award our mowing bid to Scareco Farm Lawn Care for the amount of $20,367 for the season.
I asked Chastity, and she just gave me the figure for last year was $20,035.02. Didn't increase that much.
I'll make a motion that we go with the bid for Scarecrow for mowing in the amount of $20,367.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded to go with the Scarecrow bid for mowing in the amount of $20,367. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. One thing I'd like to do for this upcoming mowing season for our seasonal mowers that we put in our tractors, I would like to raise their starting wage to 5E, which is 15.0916 an hour. They're currently starting out at 3D, which is 13.1238 an hour.
These are just the part-time.
These are our part-time,
No benefits or anything.
correct,
Just-
yep.
How long have they been at the three?
I'm
Long
not
time.
sure. I think they've been there for quite some time.
Okay. I don't have an issue with
I
it.
don't have an issue with it.
We need a motion. I'll make a motion that we go to 5E, $15 and .0916 for our part-time mowing help.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded to increase to 5E for our part-time mowing help. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Thank you. Just got a couple more things. Adam here, I'll go over these couple of things, then I'll have Adam come up. If you have any questions for him and visit what he's got. The old jail, the demolition company started setting up construction fence. We now have all the utilities capped over there. They're going to be moving in on Monday, the 30th, to start that demolition, just so everybody's aware of that. Also, our vertical expansion and berm has been approved by KDHE. So the survey company will be out, we'll be setting grade stakes out there and setting up posts so we know how high we can fill on our vertical expansion at the landfill. I also sent out to you commissioners what it's going to cost to expand to the east. Don't really want to discuss that today, just go over what's in there. Tony said he's more than willing to come in and visit here in the next couple of Mondays. That way you got time to read through that. So if you have any questions for him, he'll be more than happy to come in and answer those. So if that's something you want to do, I can get a hold of him. We can have him come in a couple of Mondays if you want.
I think that would be good.
How far out do you think we are from needing the expansion?
So it's going to take anywhere from 6 months to 10 months for the permit process to go through. As of right now, Tony's saying we've got about 2 years to go through that we've got left for area in there. What we've seen a lot since I've been here is we're having a lot of demolition of old houses and old barns come out there, and those fill up the landfill really quick in certain spots. So I think if we can get this moving forward here within the next year, I'd really like to get that to where we can expand over there. Tony's saying there's some well monitoring that we're going to have to do like we've been doing on this one. There's lots of other factors involved in it, but they're saying that there's about a couple years left on our current C&D landfill.
So you probably ought to get moving on it then.
Yes.
I would be good with Tony coming in.
I would too.
Okay, I will get a hold of him and I'll put it out not next Monday, but the first Monday in April. We have Adam here who, if you have any questions about the generator, I know I brought that up a few Mondays ago about what that generator is capable of. So Adam, if you want to come on up and.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
I guess I'm here on behalf to answer any questions for you guys on your generator move, transfer switch questions, and whatnot. So I'll let you start, and I'll answer some questions, and I have a little list of appropriate directions to move forward to, if that helps.
Okay.
Any specific?
So what will it run?
That's a great question, very loaded question. It's a little bit of a heavier in depth. Based on the spec sheet that's on the side of it, that's really where we get our spec. At one time, I believe the talk that was brought in front of you guys is it was going to be able to power both the buildings, period. That was the
Correct.
answer. Now, the problem is I don't know who necessarily advised that piece or how you guys would like to go forward with that, but technically there's 2 meter sets for each individual set up on each individual building, which is obviously it's fed on different legs of the transformer section. So the quick data of just saying it magically powers both buildings isn't even a thing with how the power's fed into the building at this time. I can gladly take you around, walk you through it so you guys can kind of see it with your own eyes. If you wanted to power 2 buildings, this kind of comes down to, it's not a super quick commissioner meeting. It's more of a walk around and show and tell, kind of showing you guys what the existing equipment that you guys already have purchased by the county is. If you wanted to power let's just say life safety systems, on each individual building. Okay, that's possible, but now you're talking about sub panels that you're brought in and conduit ran between each building and picking a centralized spot for that generator set. Per the spec sheet, listing in serial number 4526, which is on the side of that gen set, which talks about the generator head itself and what amperage and what voltage is capable of tapping and what it's able to feed. Specifically, how its current configuration now is at 3-phase at 215 amps. That's per the spec sheet that's on the side of the actual gen set itself. We did also identify one issue that actually he brought up is it's never ran quite right. Is kind of also the information we kind of brought up, which was interesting because it had an LP gas kit inside of it. I guess this entire time it's been plumbed around on natural gas. So no matter what happens, the nozzle and jet set, if you guys remember those generators, it's actually marked in there. That's actually set up for LP. So I am assuming from my understanding that we're going back with it as natural gas. So just know that no matter what we do with it or where you take it, it's probably going to need a conversion set inside of it to run on natural gas. Next piece behind that is I proposed an idea. I work with a ton of people, especially when it comes to these smaller counties where we're being very budget centric is the wording I'm going to use. How I like to move forward with it is what are we trying to use the generator power? The problem is you have 1,000 amp 3-phase service into this courthouse, or we'll call it a multi-tenant building is what I'm going to call it, but the courthouse right now, right? And as we did a quick walk around, there is no joke, to be specific, there's 15 sub panels off of your main power entry. So the problem is to just supply power to the building and say generator magically power something. There's so many spur panels and different legs. We don't even know what we're powering. So the issue is the load's not diversified. There's no load tests. There's really no records. I tried pulling up public record data to kind of get some background information behind it. None of it's really recorded. So the problem that we've kind of found out, and actually one of our engineers in-house kind of brought up a great idea was the transfer switch that you have is only a 600 amp transfer switch. The feed that's in that one specific building is way larger than that. It was really going to say, let's have a sit-down discussion and say, what do we want to power in that building? Is it life safety systems? Is it computers? Is it cameras? Is it 1 or 2 AC units? Is it, what is it, right? And we did basically either pick that load set and we power that specific thing, or we come up with what's called a multiplex of transfer switches to where we basically have, to be specific, we have, 4 or 5 200 amp transfer switches that are all ran by a controller and let you guys kind of self-regulate. So all that basically means is you let that generator feed its max output all the time to that building. And if all of a sudden it says, "Oop, can't handle it," because the building's potential power is significantly larger than what that generator is capable of powering, it will just simply pull one of the legs off on the transfer switch. And then once the load threshold dumps lower, it'll kick it back on. That was one proposed idea. If not, the secondary proposed idea was, we say, okay, this panel set is this whole side of the building, and this clearly looks like IT, and clearly looks like emergency lighting, and clearly looks like XYZ that we want to power. Great. The generator feeds all that, and then we just propose putting in like a 3-inch piece of conduit from, let's call it, main building to that side annex building. What's that building called again? The appraiser's building, and feed that with, again, life safety systems or IT or whatever that might be. But again, I think this is in my mind, I would love to walk you through it because it makes a lot of sense when you kind of walk through the building. And but the spec sheets don't lie. The generator feeds what the generator feeds. That's why it's rated from Cummins owned and at that level. But my other proposed idea is, I was recommended to work with you guys and to help out because I always help out, counties and things like this. Is I do work a lot with federal right now, a lot of federal sites, and they have this kind of crazy thing where after 3 to 5 years, whether it has 2 hours on it or 2,000, they get rid of it. And we run across rather larger gen sets all the time for very prorated prices. If it's instead of them selling it out to Purple Wave, a lot of times they'll do an intergovernment trade for very prorated prices if the main goal is to power everything to full capacity. But so far I have not heard the main goal is necessarily power everything like it's perfect in a storm, you know. I think the main goal is life safety systems and some AC and for sure the boiler and the sump pumps down in the basement and XYZ. So I think I would like to start with, and that was where my agenda side was going to be a walkthrough and tour so everybody gets comfortable with the exact equipment that the county owns at this time, and then setting forth a goal of saying, what exactly are we trying to power? And that's really where this all starts is what does the generator need to power? How much of each building does it need to power? And then you back that down with math and say, okay, knowing that statistically, this is how many amps we have, you know, per leg that needs to be powered. And this is the end goal. So that was my proposed idea. I think at this time, the quick idea is obviously your demolish of that building is starting soon. So I think the main goal is until everybody has time to go through that, feel comfortable with the next steps. It's disconnect everything, basically cap everything off so it's all protected for whatever future use is going to be, and let you guys have some time to figure out what our next steps are. But,
Do we need to move it, I guess, for the demolition? Or?
Yeah, so what do you need from that generator this week?
and taking also the stuff that ties into life safety systems. So transfer switches, and then also it's got the FDS setup, which is also part of the, like where it ties into fire alarm systems and fire suppression systems, and, it turns off the gas if there's a gas leak, and all those pieces, because there's no reason to waste, $3,000-4,000 when you can pull it off the wall and use it for future use. So that was the pro's idea, was to take all of that, and for sure before that building's gone, I would take all the stuff that's worth money that you could use further with that generator for future use.
You got somebody to take all that out, or do we need somebody?
Yep. We said discuss him having a crew come down. I think we'll get the bid from him over the weekend. What it's going to cost to do that. So
We have it proposed. We have 4 people coming down. It'll be assuming it's approved, it'll be very fast, very quick. We'll send 4 people down in company trucks. We're gonna palletize everything, wrap it, wire it, label it all up, palletize it, zip tie it. And either you guys want to store it for future use or immediately put it into service in some sort of action plan. But no matter what, at least everything's saved, and that way it doesn't just get into the demolition and all of a sudden you're missing this fire panel and you're like, we had that. We have to buy another one for $4,000, versus let's put it on a pallet and save it for future use. So that's the next step that I had. But
I guess my thought is that, the emergency services is what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to power the whole thing.
Not either. I'd like to see a schedule of what's necessary to keep us running as far as the heat and the emergency services, and see to go from there myself.
100% agree.
Okay.
100% agree. Yeah. My proposed idea of moving forward would simply be we schedule a time, and let's just say we have a quick sit down. Maybe it's today even, since I'm down here. I'm a little drive to you guys. If you guys have time at the end of the day, and we just walk through, and I can bring down the crew and we do the demolition. We say, okay, it's going to be X amount of amperage to do sump pumps, boilers, lights, these cameras, do a quick load shed test, and say, oh, it's 175 amps. Perfect. Sounds great. And we can either separate that into a sub panel to where it's consistently powered and on a transfer switch, whichever way. I mean, that's kind of my next thought. So it can be strategic on what we're actually powering, because the idea of putting a severely undersized gen set for the max capacity of what that service is on that building is just not really a wise decision. You're better off saying this generator is going to power X, Y, Z. It's going to do it reliably every time. And then also my proposed idea would also be we quote out getting the natural gas kit for the correct flow rates versus keeping the existing LP kit on it. Right. So it actually runs correctly. So
that'll help.
That'll help. Yeah, for sure. That'll definitely help. And then I think also to save some money, I believe your guys' county is going to pour the concrete pad and everything when it comes to the reinstallation. So that'll help save you guys some money on the back end for sure as well. Okay. So there you go. Any other questions for me?
I don't have any.
Awesome.
Thank you, Adam.
Hey, no problem. Glad to come down.
thanks, Adam.
Of course, sir.
I left a note for you commissioners. Been asked about our service program for our machinery. I've had the mechanics getting everything together so they can come in next Monday and discuss that with you, with our service programs that we do on that. So that'll be coming up. We got our grader back from Foley Equipment. We were able to get it back on Wednesday. and they've been out using that machine. We did ask them if there was any break-in time that they needed on that machine, and he said, nope, just work it. So we've had that machine out working since Wednesday.
Just hold a minute, Jesse, what, I was the one that brought up the maintenance programs because it's been brought to my attention. People's wondering that we've done away with some maintenance programs that would offset what the cost of some of these breakdowns are that we've had recently. And Jesse and I talked about it, and I would like the mechanics to come in and explain
Okay.
what our maintenance programs, the ones we've had and the ones we discontinued or the ones we're doing, and just to, because I've had people question me on this.
I think it'll be good for the public to know how we do things and who we work with and timeframes that we do with our equipment as far as servicing and maintenance.
Our oil samples, the way we send them in, and just thought it would be.
I think that's good as well.
Okay. Go ahead, Jesse, sorry.
Nope, you're good. Thank you. We've been working on the culverts out there at Centerville. We got the 3 major ones done this last week that were going to affect the bus route. So we've got 3 more we got to finish up between the county line there that are not going to affect the bus route. So that'll be good. We're going to work on that this week. And we have 1 more in Blue Mound that we have to finish up there. We had our pre-bid meeting for the culverts on north end of 1095. We had 3 contractors show up to look at that job. Those bids are due this Friday. So I'll be bringing those in next Monday for that project. The last thing I have here is our bridge inspections. I was notified that we have several bridges that needed inspected again this year. I reached out to our on-call engineer to have them give us a price. I sent that out to you. I would like to move forward with getting these bridge inspections done so we can get those taken care of. There's a total of 196 bridges that we need to inspect this year, and that would be at $139 each. And that's a total cost of $27,244.
Is that comparable to what we've spent normally on?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that's a state regulation that we have to.
Yep, we got to do, we have some bridges that are due every year and some that are due every couple of years.
And who is our on-call engineer again?
Cook Flat Strobel, CFS.
Okay.
I'm good with that. We have to do it.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we use Cook Flat Strobel for our bridge inspections, our on-call engineer, 196 bridges at $139 each, totaling $27,244.
Second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Also, to give you a little bit of an update on the old military bridge, the engineer did reach out to me. They've sent their plans into KDOT, and there'll be a on-site meeting out there here in the near future within the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, they said. We're going to meet out there, look at that bridge. I don't know if any of you commissioners would like to come out for that or be notified when that happens so you can come out and see what's going to be said. This will be my first time doing one of these, so just to give you a heads up, that is coming up here shortly. So I think that's all I have for now. I do need to ask for one thing to be changed on my end of the agenda. The 5 minutes executive session, attorney-client privilege, pending litigation. I just need to take that off.
Okay. Is So we still need to do the 15.
Yes, and I believe that's the one that needs to happen at 10:30. Or was there something else? Jacqueline?
I thought there were two.
Okay. Do you have note of the other one?
Yeah,
I can think of the one, but,
yeah, the other one.
oh, yes, I remember. Yes, sorry.
So we need the 15.
So if we can do the first one, 15-minute executive session, attorney-client privilege pending litigation with the commissioners, Jacqueline
And
Just- and Chastity,
and Jesse.
and Jesse, me.
Okay.
So you don't get to go.
I don't need to go.
Just stay here.
I'll make a motion that we go into executive session for 15 minutes for KSA 7543B19, 4319B2, attorney-client privilege pending litigation with the two commissioners, Jacqueline and Jesse.
Second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We'll return at 10:01. There was no action from executive session.
Thank you, Commissioners. I think that's all I have for you today, unless you have any questions for me.
I don't.
I don't,
Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you. Yeah, that's fine.
The 20-minute one. Okay. I'll make a motion. We go into executive session pursuant to KSA 754319 B2, attorney-client privilege pending litigation for 20 minutes with the two commissioners, Jesse and the county counselor. Okay.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We'll return at 10:23. or is there still no action from?
No action.
No action.
And now.
Yeah.
Okay. There was no action from executive session. So I'll make a motion that we approve the settlement agreement that's already been signed by Tanglewood Lakes, which resolves the lawsuit between Tanglewood and Linn County. And further, the quitclaim deed to,
Which is Exhibit B
which is Exhibit B
to the settlement agreement.
to the settlement agreement.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Okay,
I don't know what I'm. Should've put something in there.
member.
Another one on sign it.
Okay.
Do you need another copy? Did you put your stamp on this, on the page? Okay.
You want to take care of public comment?
Yep. All right, we'll go ahead and open it up for public comment at this time. A citizen desiring to speak on an item not on the agenda may do so at this time. Discussion is limited to 5 minutes and the commission will not take action at this time. Is there any public comment? No. We have you on the agenda. Okay, we'll go ahead and close public comment. Did we have another 5-minute executive session?
I need to check with Jesse. So we can go on. Let's go back to it.
Okay. Chastity, did you have anything under department heads for clerk?
Just a couple things. Just a couple things, but mine can wait till the very end. It's just a
Okay,
just notice.
so USI is here with a benefit update.
And actually, if you're okay with it, they are okay with Dave's towing going first.
Okay.
Get out of the way, and then they'll be a little bit longer. So
Okay.
thanks.
Okay, Dave's towing.
Here too good, so.
Okay,
Yeah, my name's David Saker. I own Dave's Towing, and we haven't heard yet from the commissioner or back from the sheriff. We filled out all the paperwork, we sent everything in to get back on your tow list, but we haven't heard from nobody yet.
okay. We did have a response from that application, did we not?
That they had received, I understand.
Okay. We denied your request previously.
Right, so you're denying him now?
Have you resubmitted again?
Yeah, we did it because there was some missing things on the
On the paperwork,
paper,
on your new contract.
Okay,
and I gave it to the girl at the sheriff's department.
okay. Well, we haven't seen that yet,
I haven't seen it.
Okay. All right.
so,
Well, I mean, he has a different tow lot also. In
Okay.
Pleasanton.
a tow lot in Pleasanton this time?
It's 1407 Holly, the Kaufman.
Kaufman's Body Shop.
Okay. All right, so do we need to work on trying to get that application so we can review it and,
Sure, this is the first time hearing about it, so
okay?
I'm not
me
sure
as
where
well.
I'm supposed to follow up, but I will do what I can to find that out.
Okay,
So do we need to get with them at the sheriff's office or?
and see if they'll pass that along to us
Okay, all right.
so that we can work through it and do anything along those lines.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
We'll stop over there before we head out.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, thank
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay. USI? Hello, how are you?
Good.
Doing good. Good morning. Jason.
Amy Schroeder. Nice to meet you.
And you both have been here for,
Yeah, 3 years.
okay, yeah. I just don't think we've ever come before the commission since like 2013 or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
So.
you haven't been there since I've been there.
Okay.
5.5 years almost.
But I've met you at the KAC and,
Yes,
and
that's
stuff
right,
that way.
yes,
Yep.
Of course, okay, perfect. Well, thank you for letting us come in today. We just started working with Chastity and we're really excited about it. I think she brought some good ideas. We have worked with the county now for several years on your health benefits, all of your employee benefits. Just wanted to kind of refresh you on who we are and some of the things that we can do going forward and some recommendations to look at some different options for your upcoming renewal this year.
Okay.
Been with Blue Cross for a long time. They're a great company. There are a lot of things we can do still with Blue Cross, but there are other things that can be done outside of Blue Cross that may lower your costs substantially. So we just want to talk about those things. This is just a presentation that we put together just to kind of remind you of who we are. We are a company that is national. We're the 6th largest privately held broker of U.S. business. We have about 500,000 clients nationally and over 200 offices. Our office is out of Wichita, and we also have an office in Kansas City that's here close as well. Amy, you want to talk a little bit about what you do?
So I'm our Kansas Ops Manager. All of our internal teams, our support teams, your account manager, are part of my responsibility. So that's what I do in both of our offices, Wichita and Kansas City.
Okay.
Okay, so here is kind of our employee benefits practice. It's of course going to be different than property and casualty. It's very segmented, but we our expertise is in underwriting and analytics, so underwriting of your renewals, that kind of thing. Compliance, very important. We did a compliance overview with David and Rose a couple years ago when he was still here, and we'd like to offer one to do that again since Chastity is here to get her to better understand. We have a compliance attorney and ERISA attorney that is designated to our office that will work on that with you. Just kind of go through everything, make sure everything is, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed as far as your benefits compliance. HR services, we offer pharmacy consulting. That's become a very big deal. On the next page, you are self-funded. So this just shows you the probability of saving money over a 5-year period of being self-funded versus fully insured. Generally, it is much better if you're over 100 employees to be self-funded. This blue line here shows the first year, what the probability of saving money is in that first year over being fully insured. And then after a 3-year period, and then after a 5-year period, you're about 95%. So you're somewhere in between 100 and 150. So as you grow, or as you go up in size, those numbers increase. And then this is just kind of a comparison of where you are today compared to the savings that you could experience outside of being. So right now, the second column here, carrier bundled, partially self-funded, that's where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield has the pharmacy benefit manager that is Prime Therapeutics. That is their own pharmacy benefit manager. They have their own stop loss and their own network. So you're pretty much siloed in with Blue Cross and Blue Shield. So you can see the medical claims bucket is what it is there. If you went carrier unbundled, partially self-funded, that would be if you went with maybe a different carrier, but went with all of their products as well. And then what we see the biggest cost saving is the TPA partially self-funded, where you're using a third-party administrator. We'll kind of illustrate that here in more detail here in a minute. But we are shopping the stop loss insurance and looking at the different contracts for your pharmacy benefits to save you the most money, but still offer the same high level of quality benefits. That fourth column there. These are just some components of being self-funded. You have your specific stop loss. So these red marks here represent people. So anybody with a claim maybe over, currently you're at $75,000, goes to stop loss. So if you have claims over that $75,000 amount, Linn County is not responsible for that. That goes to the stop loss insurance to pay. So that's what those red lines represent. And then this blue line here represents all claims under that $75,000. So if you had a lot of claims in a year, could amount to $3 million in claims, but there's just a lot of small ones. None of them went to the specific. You have coverage that will
kick in
for that as well. And then some different types of arrangements for stop loss. One of them is a captive. Chastity, and she came to our conference we had in Kansas City a few weeks ago. But Amy, if you want to talk about the captive.
So the reason we had this slide in here about the two components of the stop loss, the red and blue lines, is because based on your performance and the pool that you are getting priced out of by that stop loss carrier, you can see the trend on your stop loss renewals is usually around 18%. That's a national trend for stop loss.
Increase.
An increase, yep, correct, yeah. Because large claims are becoming more and more prevalent. So we used to see around 12%, but we're seeing it creep up. One of the ways that we can address the risk of those increases is a captive arrangement. And so that's one of the things we'll be bringing to you quoting wise when we complete your marketing for this year. But so we wanted to explain so you'd feel good about what that looked like, but it is multiple clients, multiple employer groups within a captive. They're pooling their risk. You keep your same specific stop loss level, so that deductible for each of your large claimants. And above that, there's a $300,000 layer. Not all employers are going to hit that. They may not have large claims during the year. And then above that is the carrier risk. So after that $300,000, the carrier risk or the carrier coverage starts paying in. The idea is that groups that are having a good year offsetting groups that are having the harder hit years. So that risk is pooled. And the idea of the captive and how it's been working is your Renewals are much more stabilized. Our last 4 years of renewals with this captive cell that we've been working on is under 5%, so in the single digits every year versus that 12 to 18%.
Wow.
And the stop loss is the largest portion of your fixed cost of your group health plan. So that's why impacting it, by say 8 to 10% it really has a lot of rewards for us over the years. It doesn't stop you from having large claims. We're all going to have them. People are going to have preemie babies. We're going to have cancer diagnoses. But it helps offset the wild swings in our stop loss renewals.
And the refund, the potential.
Yeah, the groups that have good year, thank you, Jen. The groups that have a good performing year are eligible for refund of premium, which is not a benefit you have currently in your stop loss coverage. One of the things that makes these captive cells work really well is if you're interested, or groups that are interested, are joining like-minded employers. So they're willing to look at cost containment solutions within their plan performance. And we brought some ideas of what we think the county should look at for those cost containment solutions, especially on larger claims for 2026. I'll go through these, or you can.
You go
either
ahead.
way. The first is called Allied Advocate. It is a negotiation process for any large claims that you have that hit the medical plan. This TPA, Allied National, or Allied Benefits, has an Allied Advocate program that they negotiate to get your cost that you actually pay on the large claims to as close as what Medicare is paying, which is our lowest point of payment on health plans, as we can get the hospital to accept, right? And they've been really successful at getting a lot of claims settled at Medicare rates. And they only step in and do that negotiation on 7 different categories. And you can see them listed here under the Allied Advocate impacts, but it'd be somebody that goes inpatient, someone on dialysis, large outpatient charges, ambulance charges. So it's only impacting, or they're only having, they're only engaged on those claims that cost your health plan the most, right? When we go to the doctor's office, that's not a large claim, but these are really impacting your health plan, so it can make a big difference. On that next page where you see this chart, here is an example of a client that we have in Wichita that has this Allied Advocate program in place. And we have about 40 clients, 40 employers working on this. But if you look about the center there, you'll see the charges. The next column, so that's what they bill. The next column is allowed, so the PPO allowed, your network allowed amount. And then the third column over there says paid. If we look at one, say this highlighted yellow one, Wesley Medical Center in the center of the page there, the billed was $677,000. The network, the carrier network, would have been $252,000 for that charge, and the paid amount was actually $39,000. So that's where that's what the plan actually paid, for a 94% savings from billed charges. So there can be big impact even with just 1 or 2 claims during the year to what your health plan costs are.
And if they don't accept that Medicare rate, then it's just paid at the network allowable rate. So you're not out anything.
Yeah, no balance bill to the member or anything.
Okay.
Yeah. The second area, as Jen referenced a few minutes ago, is addressing pharmacy. Specialty drugs and pharmacy costs are the largest trend increases we see year over year, and the pipelines for new specialty meds are growing every year that are coming to market. So we don't expect that trend in inflation on pharmacy spend to slow anytime soon. And so there's a couple of ways we've been looking at addressing that for health plans. And we think you can net at least over 100,000 on your plan currently for what we've looked at. And we brought some of your own claims data to look at where we're getting these numbers. But a couple of places, there are a lot of biosimilars on the market that we think that are a third to a tenth of the cost of the current brand name drug and can be utilized instead of the brand name drug. But the most important one is specialty meds and the way that they are paid for. There's patient assistance foundation dollars that health plans can get access to for their members. Then the health plan isn't the one paying the bill for those, and neither is the member. So the member benefits financially for these high costing drugs, and the health plan does as well. And per Jen's comment a minute ago, it doesn't impact, the cost doesn't go back to the member if we're unable to secure those foundation dollars. The plan just would pay for it like it normally would. But the ones we're able to, it's significant savings for health plans because they are about 1% of the drugs being prescribed on your plan, and they cost about 70 to 80% of your pharmacy dollars. They're high costing, but it's a very minimal amount of people that are utilizing them, but that's just how expensive they are. And we'll show you that as well. So those manufacturer pharmacy assistance programs, those are those foundation dollars we talked about. We have your list and we'll go through that so we can talk about what that impact will be. But one of the requirements of putting your stop loss into that captive is to make sure you have one of these in place. It is really impacting pharmacy spend, those trends on health plans altogether. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay. So this next page 15 here lists out your last 3 years of claims. So if you look here in this second column, the green at the top says health. This is just the health medical claims. Then you've got our pharmacy claims set aside separately, and then total is the health and the pharmacy together. So the current period, if you look up at the top, is going to be March of 2025 through February of 2026. That is the period that is going to be reviewed for your renewal. Your renewal is actually being calculated this month in March because we have what is called an early final with Blue Cross and Blue Shield. The renewal numbers will be out and we'll be able to present those in April, which is when, prior to that, we will probably want to start marketing the plans. So the other time period is going to be the prior time period in orange, and that's March of 24 through February of 25. And then the past prior time period is March of 23 through February of 24. So if you look at your total column here, you can see the past prior, your claims that were paid. The plan paid 1.2 million. Last year they were 1.7. So far this year we're at 2.3. So it's you're looking at a pretty large increase in claims paid. Now, I will tell you that Blue Cross and Blue Shield, the way they weight these is the most current period is going to be weighted 32%. The middle period is the most heavily weighted period at 42%. And then the oldest year is the least, and it's at 26%. That middle period is the highest impact, the 42%, because we know those claims have been incurred and paid already. There's probably some claims in the current period, I know, that haven't been paid yet, that are still being reviewed. I did highlight the pharmacy as well for this year. You're down over last year, but you're still significantly higher than you were a couple years ago. And those are due to those specialty medications that with Blue Cross and Blue Shield, unfortunately, they don't have those manufacturer assistance programs, those patient assistance programs that Amy was talking about. So, and a big part of that is they are getting very large rebates on those medications. So their philosophy has
They're
just,
not sharing it with us.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield's getting a rebate and not passing it on to us.
yeah, you get rebates for your name brand drugs, but those specialty medications, they keep a great deal of that. They get very large rebates. So yeah, they generally do not.
There,
Okay, and it's not gonna affect our people on their ability to get the specialty drugs.
Absolutely
No.
not. It will not
Will it
impact
stop them from using the local pharmacies
No,
or that they
no.
can still use their
all the same. So it would be the same network. They will still have the same medications covered. That patient assistance program is really neat. It's a very white glove approach where they are being walked through the program to get those specialty medications at no cost to them, potentially, and definitely no cost to them, but potentially no cost to your plan as well.
Okay.
So this page represents, and I've got actual, I'm going to leave this with you, but I did want to show you. I know a lot of times in groups, there's no names associated with these, but the diagnoses are listed here. We did take that out here for the public. But these are the actual claims that the diagnosis for what these claims were. Part of the reason is because like this is a spouse, and then these are employees. If it says employee, it's just better to not have that information out.
Right.
So but we did want to show that to you. So we had actually 8 claims that hit, 7 claims that are over, 7 claims that are over your specific stop loss. Your specific stop loss is 75,000. So these are very large claims that, to Amy's point earlier, could potentially have been reduced with the light advocate type program. And a couple of these claims are prescription claims. So those are noted on there as well that could be impacted by that patient assistance program.
Okay.
So in one way or another, all of those claims could have been impacted by these programs we're introducing and talking about to review. Your specialty medications that we were talking about, you've actually got 2, 3, 4, 5 people on these medications. There's 4 different ones. 2 people are on that second one, that Dupixent in there. These medications are necessary to treat those chronic conditions like Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, psoriasis, multiple sclerosis, things of that nature. So you can see here that Waxix is a CNS stimulant. Actually, a lot of times it treats narcolepsy and things of that nature. Dupixent treats different chronic conditions. And then you've got your Tespire, and then the last one there is a lower cost specialty medication. But a lot of times we see these medications like the Dupixent, if you look at your spend in the prior period, it was $131,000. So that could be negated to 0. Anything you want to add there?
no, that's the point of those programs is, all total on these, just these 4 drugs is about 180,000. That could have been 0 to the health plan. And you're not impacting many members. It looks like 4 or
Total
5,
of
5 members. Could have saved you 180,000.
And we don't know if those people are employees or dependents, but regardless, they would be.
With no, to address your concern, no disruption to their actual treatment and care.
Okay.
It's just who's paying for it. Page 18. So the first 3 columns here, the current, the renewal, and your option 2A, was what we had looked at last year for the county. And this allied with an unbundled PBM and stop loss was our proposal last year. you can see fixed cost totals, that blue line across about the center. So that is your admin and that stop loss rate. And then down the sort of bottom section projects where they think your claim spend will be, an expected and a maximum with those fixed costs added in. In our final column, our fourth column that's highlighted light blue, this is, we took what we had quoted for those options, unbundling those options, your pharmacy and your stop loss. And we said, well, what if we took the last 12 months from that Blue Cross report and put your actual claim spend in? What would it have looked like versus where you are currently sort of sitting now? And the punchline at the bottom, your estimated alternative spend would have been about 2.3. We project that your current, or estimate your current last 12 months spend at almost 2.5 there, and estimated savings have been around 170,000. That is not including had we have had the large claims negotiation program in place. Purely on just your pharmacy, you would have seen that spend change.
Conservative approach.
Okay.
Some things that we
Right.
know we could save the pharmacy.
Okay.
And that usually about 70% assurance that we could save on the other, at least some of those large claims that have been negotiated.
And that's moving away from Blue Cross, Blue Shield and going to,
Yeah, that would have to be outside of Blue Cross and Blue Shield. So,
and who would we be going with?
well, we looked at several different networks, and it would even, probably in this area, the best network would be Aetna, and that's only the network. It's not, they're not paying the claims or anything. It'd be Ally paying the claims, or Cigna network. And they're both national networks. Currently with Blue Cross and Blue Shield's network, and I'm not bagging, we've got a lot of business with Blue Cross, and they're a great company as well. But just a little bit of back, as just some food for thought. When they are pretty much siloed state by state, they're not really they don't really have a national network. If you go to another state, you're using Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois or Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Iowa, and they tag some fees onto the claims for going into a different state. Whereas these other, like Aetna and Cigna, UMR, United Healthcare, those networks do not do that. They're just national everywhere. So that's just another
box
thing that people are not aware of.
And my other question there is, okay, so we're still self-funded, which means that our claims are not being denied
Correct. Yeah, you're
by a bigger company.
Allied. So Allied's the TPA. And when we start working with a group that maybe has had Blue Cross in the past, we give them your certificate, and then we go through meetings. Chastity would be a part of that, and probably Rose, line item to decide, how do we want this covered? Do we want it paid at, exactly the same? Generally, it's going to be as close to the same as possible, which they can do anything because it's your plan,
Because I want to say last summer when we were talking about this, that was one of the major fears of our employees, was that if we changed plans, it was going to change things. And I don't think that they were realizing that we were self-insured.
Right. I don't think they did either. And they heard the word United Healthcare Network, even though it was just the network, and they thought it was going to be United Healthcare paying the claims and all that, which was not
the case.
And I think they were comparing it to some other company around in this area that has a union that uses United Healthcare, and so things just word started traveling around.
And I do want to make note that when I started talking to Jen after taking this position, that was the very first thing I said is I've had numerous employees come to me and say, if you change our insurance, we're quitting, we're leaving. And so I assured her that, it's not that we want to change what we're currently using plan-wise, or benefits, I should say, but we'd like to know what's out there that has the same type of benefits that we're currently getting, but maybe at a savings to us in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, you don't have to change your plan design in the least. Most people don't. They just say we want to match our benefits. Just somebody else is processing the claims.
Okay.
And the rest of this, we're just kind of letting you know that USI is a very large company, so we do have preferred vendors that we work with, and we do get great pricing generally. HR services, we offer that as well. That is something that we're taking advantage of now. Just some things like our benefits resource center. So a lot of times when a group moves away from a carrier to a new carrier, employees have a lot of questions, and we have a customer call center that is USI employees. They're not working for the insurance company. So they're going to be working on your employees' behalf. If they have any issues with claims or anything like that, they can go straight to the benefits resource center. Our folks will actually file appeals on their behalf and walk them through any issues or questions that they're having. And that's available to you now as well. And then some of the other things that we have are just employee enrollment materials, the benefit guides, that kind of thing. We also have HR attorneys on staff, and that they're available to you all at no cost for any questions that you have that are potentially related to your benefits and that kind of thing. Compliance, we also have, as I mentioned, we have those attorneys on staff that help with compliance. Anytime there's reporting due or things like that, we notify Chastity and Rose that those things are coming up. There's some fees that are due, like in July, because your self-funded plan, very nominal, but just things that, trying to make you aware of, to stay on top of. And then I already mentioned the compliance checklist review. That is something we would like the opportunity to take a look at again when the time is right. Mm-hmm. Do you have any questions of us? This is a good time to be looking at all this because your renewal is due in April. Yep. So we can begin marketing. We could send a census over to Rose and Chastity here this week and start that process. So to see what else is available out there. We're not saying you should move, but we just want to make you aware of some of the things that we see that could be improved.
And beneficial.
Very financially beneficial as well. Any questions you have of us, or?
I think I've already asked them.
Okay. They were good.
Yeah, very good.
But can you clarify one thing? Even switching to the other Aetna or whatever, that does change the network out of network for the doctors, or it does not change?
It would be, they're generally all in the same networks. So doctors that are on with Blue Cross Blue Shield now are going to be in the Aetna network. We see very little difference. Same with Cigna and United Care networks. Anything you want to add to that?
No.
Is there a way we could see that list? I mean, for the people of the county, just to verify that we're not.
Absolutely. We can get you. What we might do is kind of as we get closer. I mean, we could send over the
site to where people
the sites. Yeah, sure.
Their doctors, just to verify that.
We would definitely do that once we kind of drilled down and we were looking at,
switching
options compared to Blue Cross. But we can send those links to you now if you want to look at them.
I think it'd be a good idea to send them now to where people could at least look and then it would stop.
We don't know what.
Which one we're going
Yeah.
with.
So I kind of would as far as putting it out to the public, wait until we drill down. But we can send them to you now. That's okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, you've been with Blue Cross for a long, long time, so I can understand, need to see what else is what the other networks look like and that kind of thing.
From the reviews we've done in the past, it's about a 99% match, sometimes higher. And the ones that you may see, what might be individual, like a chiropractor office, something like that, that may be in one and not in the other, something like that. But we can look for resolution to that.
Okay.
What is it? I've read some things about the drugs companies, like locally. There's a gentleman that owns a pretty large pharmacy in this area. And he had a thing on Facebook about that he had the drug on his shelf. And how many, it was thousands of dollars he could have saved. And he had to go through the other company to get his medication. And it was a cancer drug of some kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. The PBMs usually have a specialty pharmacy that a health plan has to order their specialty drugs from. You can speculate the reasons.
Yeah, they have their own. So, and that's where we want to get away from those big PBMs that do that. There's quite a few of them that do, but there are some smaller independent that are, their customer service is much better. And they don't do the spread pricing. The price that they're buying the drug, there's a small markup, and then that's what it's sold at. So it eliminates a lot of those types of situations that you're talking about. They're just terrible, We'll need those medications, but it's all about money.
Okay.
Do you have a date that you're looking at? You want to come back?
We will have the renewal in April, so we'll need to.
I think we targeted the end of April.
Okay.
In our timeline.
Okay. All right.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Please let us know
Thank
if you
you,
have
Jen.
any
Yeah,
questions.
thank you very much. Pleasure to see you again.
Yes. Okay. Did you need another executive session? Okay.
Commissioners, I just had a couple more things. One, I just got the invoice for our cat grader that we had down at Foley Equipment. Previously, I was approved for $57,000 to fix this grader. Due to the shape of the core, when they got all done, we weren't able to get that full discount on it. The new total for this grader repair is $60,516.80.
So another $7.
So there was a little over $3,500 more.
$1,680.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve Jesse to spend the $60,516.80 on the cat grader.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded to spend $60,516.80 on the repairs on the cat grader. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Thank you. That's all I had.
Okay, thank you, Jesse. Cassidy?
I just have one thing. Because of my name association, I'm still receiving emails for economic development, and I received one today, Friday afternoon for Southeast Kansas tourism. And they're asking if Linn County would like to continue to be a tier 1. And it includes a sector endowment fund has been set up, and yesterday we voted up to 50% of the membership fees into that endowment moving forward, and we're signing on with Banwango, a service that does digital passports, scavenger hunts, etc. Some of the larger sector offices have agreed to pay for this. Even if there's not anything you want to do for your specific community, we plan to have some for the entire region along the US 69. And popular places in southeast Kansas to fish have been discussed. So I don't know what all the tier 1 includes or has included in the past, but they're asking if this is something that you're interested in doing.
And what's the cost?
$75, and we did do that last year. I believe it's been done the last few years.
$75.
Mm-hmm. I know the different names of like the Historical Society, I believe, was included in several magazines, and the Marina Park was included in the magazine.
Just get more advertisement.
Correct. Mm-hmm. It's not as much as it could be, but it's a start. So.
I guess I don't really see how $75 is gonna benefit or hinder or anything in between. I'm wondering if it's really worth it, if it's only $75, if.
The internet, or the Facebook and everything else, I don't need.
Okay.
I'm good with not doing it.
Okay.
No.
Me too.
The only other thing I have here is, I apologize, I didn't have this last week, but I want to confirm that you are good with what I'm going to post as the job description for the economic development services. I'm not sure if I even have the correct verbiage within the title that you may want. So I brought a couple documents here for you to be able to see this. Thank you. There's one for you and one for him. So again, the title, I just have Economic Development Services. I didn't really know if you wanted specific something else in that title for what that position is going to include. I included the responsibilities of what you have decided on. We have to post a job description when we post it on the website, so I wanted to make sure I had that accurate. And then the second document is just an actual contract that could be signed once you have decided of who you would like. Jacqueline, would you like a copy of this just to take a look at this real quick? Leave it to them. Okay.
I think that fits for me.
I'm good with it.
Thank you, Cass.
So the title of it and all of that's good? Okay, I'll move forward with getting that posted today on the website, Facebook, and ask it to be put in the newspaper. So, okay. And that's all I had.
Okay. Anything else? All right, I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn the meeting. Meeting adjourned.